Neal, where do we start with that one?
Start by apologising to the fans, and again I've had to do it twice now this season, and that's not good. That's not what it should be. When people pay their hard-earned money to come and watch their team, the least they expect is their team to have a go. I asked the boys, I talked about our stats, our running stats, our intensity. I wanted the boys to raise the levels of intensity they play at, and we couldn't have done any more opposite. If we'd have tried in the first half, one team was intense, played with pace. We showed them, Megs does a lot of work on the opposition. We showed them how many regains they get in the middle third and break and try and counter-attack, and we literally played into their hands. And it's difficult because I normally take full responsibility for all the results, and I have to take full responsibility for all the results, but when you show a team what they're going to face, when you talk to them about how we deal with that, when you ask them for more intensity, and the performance is as lacklustre as that in the first half particularly, it's really, really tough to take. And you know, we've got to play with a lot more aggression, a lot more pride, a lot more heart than we have done, and the baseline of our performances at the moment is so up and down that I think everybody, staff, even players, probably don't know what they're going to get.
I suppose we're still disappointed from the fact that when Mitch Roberts equalises for a moment of brilliance, really, that we then go to see 2 goals before half-time.
Terrible. We've tried to tighten up at the back. Last few games I've worked hard at making us harder to break down because we're conceding too many goals, and we've done that well. Today I started trying to introduce us passing the ball a bit better, or during the week passing the ball a little bit better and being braver and better going forward, and then the defending goes to pot. It's spinning plate scenario, but ultimately I've got to get this team to play for each other. I've got to get this team to play together. I've got to get this team to play with some pride, and we'll be into work, and we're going to have to work hard at it.
Obviously the penalty just before half-time, I know we were second best by that point, but what did you make of that decision? Because I suppose going in 2 goals behind compared to 1 makes a big difference.
Of course, listen, it wasn't a penalty. I thought the ref was really, really poor today. I thought he was one-sided. We got a penalty for handball in the second half, blatant handball, and not one of them could even see that. Their one wasn't a penalty in my eyes. It was soft at best, but it doesn't surprise me that he gave it because it went in sync with what was going on prior to it. But you cannot look at the referee before your own team. You can't look at the referee when your own team aren't doing the least you would expect of any team in any game.
I suppose when you do suffer a defeat like that, or what's the sort of following actions from that? I suppose is it just a lot of hard work on the training ground, or is it something else?
Well, listen, it's a mentality at the moment within the group. Again, I'm the manager. This isn't tactical. This isn't the manager's tactics. This isn't the manager's trying to do something the team can't. This is basic defending, basic aggression, basic intensity. So we need to work on that first. We need to get a little bit of pride and a little bit of, well, not a little bit of pride, we need to get a lot of pride into our performances, a lot of energy, a lot of tempo, and if we have to mix things up and play something slightly different, when we're going to have to do it. But that's all for this week, for us to sit down to analyse and to look at. But ultimately, when them players cross that line, like they did last season when we was so good, they took everything, they run with it. When they cross that line, the manager and the assistant manager are quite helpless, and when we watch them take our team talk and take everything we warned them of and do the opposite, it's really, really hard as a manager. But like I say, I've got to take the blame.
We're getting closer to seeing any of the likes of Ben Coker, David Davis back in action.
Digger, I'm not sure. His back's locked up, but even once he does get training, it's going to be a process of him getting fit first. And he's not even out on the training field, so I can't give you any idea on that. Ben, very, very similar. I think he's out doing a little bit of running, but his knee is sore when he strikes balls and stuff. So yeah, I haven't got a timeline.
I know you touched on it at the start of the interview, but the fans that travelled here today, I suppose fair play to the 84 that a lot of them were still here at the end and chuckling at the life.
Yeah, and do you know what? Unbelievably for them, clapping off the lads, because I don't think we deserved it. I don't think we deserved to be clapped. I don't think any of us deserve to be clapped. And we went over to clap them because they did. And it wouldn't, if they would have turned around and wanted to have a pop at us all, they'd have been perfectly within their rights. But I think Darryl said something the other day in the Meet the Manager that even when the team's not playing well, this group of fans supports us, and fair play to them, because we didn't deserve to be clapped today. We deserve to be had a go at, and we've got to pick ourselves up. Football, sport is such a strange game. Confidence, belief, trust, momentum. When you've got it, you can be brilliant. When you haven't got it, you can look bang ordinary. And when you haven't got it, you go back to the basics, and you've got to work hard, be aggressive, win battles, track runners, defend for your lives. And that's the disappointing thing, because that's the basic for any performance.